Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my show, Crypto Express. In today's video, we're going to go through what has been happening since the halving event. Sorry I didn't come to you sooner. I've been dealing with our pup and just some health complications. But that said, I've done quite the deep dive on what's going on in the crypto market and what happens next, as I said. So without further ado, let's get started. Please like and subscribe. It just tells me this information is useful to you. And it encourages me to make more content. So that said, we're going to start off just briefly with what are the price predictions some of the biggest names in crypto are predicting for us. So we have Codex sees a Bitcoin price above $170,000. coming around August 2025. And then, of course, they say they believe there might be a retracement or a dip nearing levels of $95,000 to $100,000. We have Quant saying they believe there will be a rally post-halving, which we saw, and they believe that prices will peak post-halving somewhere around $250,000. And then popular analyst CryptoCon is foreseeing an all-time high of $130,000 4 years after the previous high, or sometime around 2025, so next year. And then lastly, we have Beard of Gemini that's predicting $100,000 price, assuming Bitcoin reaches its previous all-time high of 69,000. So these are just some general predictions, just to kind of give you like a feel for what some of the top people in crypto are predicting. That said, I don't necessarily endorse this. I think Bitcoin could be much more, or around those numbers actually, because I was watching Altcoin Daily show. I will just type them in really fast for you. It's another great resource for you to go check out. And in his show from Dubai, just go follow him. It's him and his twin brother. But anyway, in doing my research, I found that Altcoin Daily was quoting some article, and I couldn't quite find it, but he showed an interesting chart that basically explained that post-halving, Bitcoin tends to do 3x, so 3 times its previous all-time high. So I found that very interesting. Let me know if you find this chart, but I think the general sentiment is that Bitcoin should at least double, if not triple, this bull run that we're currently in. But okay, so we know that there were a few events that led to the dip, right? I wouldn't necessarily call it a black swan event. A black swan event is when like everything you could possibly imagine that could go wrong would go wrong, and it leads to like this massive like black swan event. But it almost seems like that, right? I mean, we had Jerome Powell's comments about how they were not going to be lowering interest rates. That really like took the air out of everybody, and it really affected the market. See, he says right here, Bitcoin's price fall began after the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, commented that interest rates will likely not go down for the foreseeable future. So this just affected, the economy. And this was on, what day did he make his comment? I think it was on April 17th. So that was highly disappointing to the market. And, everyone sort of reacts to what Jerome Powell says because he's the chair of the Federal Reserve. So that was really disappointing that, like the market took a hit right after his comments. So that was one event that happened. The second event leading up to the Bitcoin halving was the simple fact that it was tax day in the US, which happens on April 15th. And according to Tom Dunleavy on Twitter X, he says, he said it best. He said, approaching tax day, April 15th, we sell off literally every year. It says, like, see blue lines below, leverage because of the bull market just increased the pace this year. So, I'm not a pro trader, but like the chart kind of speaks for itself and just basically demonstrates that, yeah, historically, where you see the blue lines, the market dips, it falls, because it's tax day. And I don't know if people go liquidate their Bitcoin or their crypto to go pay for their taxes, but probably, because crypto is still a new asset class and many might still be considering it as a risky asset class. So if they have things to pay, then they're going to go liquidate from there, So I don't know if that's the exact reasoning, but based on my research and everything that I was like listening to and the people I was tuning into, it seems to be that may have likely been why. So that happened. And then of course the horrible news, so sad. I don't want to say it's a war already, but it seems to be like a war between Israel and Iran has been starting. And due to this news of them bombing each other, Bitcoin went down 8% Saturday evening after US officials confirmed the attack was imminent, or like soon, or like immediate. But that said, Sunday morning, as you see here, it rebounded to 64,000, which many in the crypto space, thought leaders, top crypto analysts, said it was really an indicator of how strong Bitcoin is and just like the general crypto asset class. Because once again, as I've said in previous videos, assets and market assets will dip, like they will fall. But the sign of health is how fast it bounces back, right? And so the following day it rebounded to 64,000. So, I personally took advantage and I bought a few more tokens. I bought some Injective and some TON, which we're going to talk about towards the end of this video. But yeah, and I bought some more Bitcoin because I know fundamentally, because of the technology and its embedded deflationary, mechanism to Bitcoin, it's going to go up in value only. It's a long-term game or play, and then we know, of course, if you're new to my channel, welcome, but we know that the next asset class in crypto that is most volatile or susceptible to news events are your altcoins, or your alternative coins, right? Like everything that's not Bitcoin, basically. So your Ethereum and your your Solana and your Celestia, and I can't, there's so many other ones. And then the ones that get hit the hardest are the meme coins, or the super, super high risk tokens, like your Doge, your Shiba, your dog with hat, like Wizard, which is a new meme coin that I'm onto because I heard Arthur Hayes, if you don't know who he is, he's a really big leader in the crypto space. He has a really popular Medium account, blog, and he publishes his thoughts there. This is his Medium account, and I'd recommend you go follow him because he's truly knowledgeable. He's the former co-founder, I think was it like BitGet, or just correct me if I'm wrong. There's so much to keep up with in the crypto space, but really, really knowledgeable. But anyway, so he's super bullish on a few tokens that I will be covering potentially tomorrow. I just want to go do my proper research before I bring them to you. But okay, so back to where we were. So we know that another event that led to the crypto markets dipping right around the time of the halving was, like I was just mentioning, the tensions in the Middle East. So that's why I say, it sounds a little bit like a black swan event. It's a little coincidental. So many bad things happened at the same time. And I don't want to get conspiracy theorist, but we know that all the top movers and shakers of the world, there tends to be some organization between them. And that's a whole other conversation I won't get into, but let me know if you're interested in this, because I can introduce some really great resources to you, and like researchers and documentarians that track all of this. But anyway, that said, these events happened. It had a big effect on the crypto markets. That said, it also coincides just historically with the fact that, and we'll get into this tweet in a second, but historically, there's always a dip around the time of the halving, right? It's either slightly before, during the halving, or right after. So all that is happening right now, is to be expected. It shouldn't be shocking or scary to anybody. It's to be expected. And if anything, it's a buying opportunity for the best tokens, is what I would say. That's what I'm doing, and that's what I know top, really informed, really educated, really savvy investors, even like your Raoul Pal, Raoul Pal, if you don't know him, I would go follow him as well. Hi, Raoul Pal. This is him. Even Raoul Pal, this is him on Bankless. Bankless is a great podcast as well, on like everything really deep crypto tech and philosophy and projects, but it's a bit advanced, so I wouldn't go. Welcome to go follow them anyway, because you should be always trying to learn. But this is another great resource for you guys. But anyway, Raoul Pal is on one of their recent videos, second to last, and he's from like traditional finance. And he has his own podcast as well. So I just recommend you go follow this channel and go listen to their podcasts, and follow their guests, because that's how you get educated, self-educated, is you have to go follow everybody on your own, so that YouTube's algorithm and Twitter X's algorithm feeds you that information, like any other thing. But that's sad, just to put things into perspective. This tweet is really great. He says, a quick, what does he say? I don't know. He put like a spool of thread here. Just something to, keep things in perspective, folks. He said, only 38 days in all of Bitcoin's history ever. Okay, let me just read it better. Only 38 days in all Bitcoin history have ever had a closing price higher than we were currently at 61,000. So just to remind us that even though we feel like we've been dipping, like what's going on with Bitcoin? Oh my gosh, should I sell it? Instead of being so narrow-minded, which is normal as well, because we live in the present, and so we see what we see right now. But if we zoom out and we look at the big picture, we would see that we're doing very good. Like historically, like we're doing amazing. Like we're at all-time highs, and there's only been 38 days ever that we have ever been at this all-time high. So amazing to keep in mind and remember. That's sad. Something else to kind of like keep in check and practically like process is that even though there have been like in the millions of dollars of like new inflows and outflows of value into the Bitcoin ETFs, if we look at the AUM, or the actual assets under management, that's what AUM stands for, we've actually stayed around the same value, the same number for a month now. So even though there's inflows and outflows, it's like the same money just moving around, and we haven't actually seen any new money. This is, of course, as of April 15th, but it's been more or less the same since then. But this brings me to some really, really exciting announcements. If you live on Twitter X, which I recommend you do, you've already seen this, but if you haven't, I'm going to tell you anyway. is that basically Grayscale, which is one of the biggest, institutional funds, whose founder is Michael Saylor. He's like a pretty gigantic giant in the crypto space and in Bitcoin especially. I think he has like one of the largest holdings of Bitcoin, other than like Satoshi and like other billionaires, and like Mike Novogratz maybe. Basically, they've been struggling because since the beginning of the ETF's approvals, yes, they've had like huge inflows, but they've had tremendous outflows, or people pulling their money out, or like, cashing out. And anyway, so they finally did something creative about this, and they're going to be offering their own like mini Bitcoin ETF that's going to have cheaper fees. And this is just a soft announcement, as we can see in the next article. It's a soft announcement. It's like a teaser, basically. Like they're doing it. It's good marketing, okay? They're pre-announcing something to come as a way of getting their investors excited and the market excited. But it hasn't been confirmed yet. But seeing it says, they're declaring their mini version of Grayscale Bitcoin ETF. It's supposed to be 1/10 cheaper than the current GBTC fees. So it's supposed to be like significantly cheaper, and it's supposed to get like investors excited, even though they're saying like don't get their hopes up. Well, this is what Eric Balkunas said. He's like some pretty hardcore like analyst, or somebody very like savvy. He's a big thought leader when it comes to like Bitcoin and like economies. I'd recommend you go follow him as well on Twitter. This is his handle here, Eric Balkunas. But anyway, so this is some really, really bullish good news for Bitcoin. As I said, it's a soft announcement, or like a teaser. It's not actually happened yet, but it's good news coming. Yeah, which is amazing. That said, we have some more extremely bullish news, because as you may have heard on Twitter X, and this happens every halving, last halving was my first halving, so I've officially been in crypto 4 years, a little over 4 years. But apparently this happens every time. People get worried. They're like, oh no, if the supply of Bitcoin is going to get reduced, is going to get cut in half, right? For every block that's mined, the miners will now get half of that, which I believe is now going to be 3.25. Correct me if I'm wrong. Just going off my memory. So people get worried. They're like, oh no, like if they're going to, like if there's going to be less blocks produced, like if the Bitcoin reward is going to be cut in half for every block, for the same amount of work that every miner was already doing before, like, isn't that going to de-incentivize them? Like, isn't that going to discourage them from wanting to do mining to secure the network? So people get worried. People start like spreading FUD, or like fear, of like the unknown, or what is it? And feel like, oh no, Bitcoin's going to collapse, the network's going to collapse, because there won't be enough miners to secure the network, and they won't want to do the work because now it costs like so much money just to run a mining operation, a mining farm. So, but actually this tweet, as you can see, says the opposite, which of course, this is the way supply and demand works. The less there is of something, the more it's worth. And we know that governments have been reaching out directly to miners, those that produce the blocks, that solve the algorithms, to buy their Bitcoin directly off of them instead of buying it off the market. And so anyway, this is really such incredible bullish news for Bitcoin, because as we can see in this chart, like it says transaction fees collected by Bitcoin miners yesterday tripled the all-time high, coming in at over $78 million. And if anyone was afraid this would affect transactions, it says we also made a new record streak of 104 blocks in which fees exceeded newly created Bitcoin. Amazing, amazing, beautiful news for crypto. And even more amazing news for crypto, the IMF, or the International Monetary Fund, right? This is basically the fund that controls like all the money of the world. It's like the grand organization. There's like so many great documentaries on this. Like, once again, let me know. I can bring you onto some really good channels that cover all of this sort of interesting financial news and history. But apparently they write a paper sharing the potential of Bitcoin for cross-border payments. Hello, of course, not shocking. I'm going to be reading this in detail. Let me tell you. Let me know if you want me to explain it to you in detail, because very interesting. This just shows you the mass adoption of Bitcoin globally. And we know that as Bitcoin gets adopted, like altcoins get adopted, and then from there, like meme coins are already on the forefront, bringing in so much, like so many new people and like young people, and really, even more mature people, because it's like the lottery, like we all know, like our grandmas even played the lottery. I don't have grandmas anymore, but my grandma wouldn't have played anyway, but maybe your grandma's cooler than mine. Mine was. May she rest in peace. Some more amazing bullish news. We know that historically, every time USDT prints USDT, it's an indicator of the market, like a market rally, of like the market doing good, of a bullish trend, because Bitcoin, think about it, like what do people use to buy more crypto? Like the pairs, right? All cryptos are paired with like the underlying asset you have to use to buy it, right? So you either use Ethereum to buy a crypto asset if it's built on Ethereum, or like a Ethereum compatible network, or you buy it in Solana, or you buy it in USDT. USDT is one of the main gateways or ways in which people buy crypto. And so when they print, it's always a sign, as I learned on Ivan on Tech's channel, which I also recommend you go follow. I've already shared it with you before, but Ivan on Tech, really chill, really good information, very level-headed, which I appreciate in crypto news, because I mean that's what I appreciate listening to. But anyway, great news. USDT just minted another, what number is this? Like $1 trillion? That's a big number. I hope I see this dollar amount in my wallet someday. Anyway, more bullish mass adoption news as to why you should feel very, very bullish and confident in Bitcoin's global adoption and crypto's global adoption. Even if it dips sometimes, don't be worried. Like, the expansion is happening globally. And here we see that Binance, we know their founder is going through some like legal case right now in the US, but I don't know. I haven't followed that very closely. I just know he's having to pay some penalties for not following like US money laundering laws, I believe. I'm not going to comment on that for the sake of this video, but that said, it looks like Binance is really trying to work with global governments, which is really great, because it just means more people will enter crypto. Whether or not you agree that Bitcoin and crypto should be regulated, I understand that goes completely against the ethos of decentralization and of Bitcoin and of what crypto stands for, which is like be your own bank, own your own money, be responsible, and you don't have to report to anybody. Like, that's the ethos of crypto, is freedom. But on the other hand, we have a very real world, in which we all live, and it's a regulated world. And I'm not saying crypto or Bitcoin should change, but I feel like there should be a bridge that connects the two. And sometimes, that means you have to comply with certain laws, and at least that introduces the people on the other side of the bridge, like it introduces them to the concept and the philosophy of decentralization and crypto assets. So I feel like it serves a purpose, and that's what Binance is doing anyway. It's looking to re-enter India. This article is super interesting. I will link it below, but essentially, yeah, they're paying a penalty of $2 million, re-entering India's market, which is powerful, extremely powerful, because as you'll read further down somewhere, at one point prior to the ban, prior to Binance being kicked out of India, Binance accounted for 90% of the crypto holdings of Indian investors, estimated to be about $4 billion. So it had a dominance over the market, but it's because it was not complying, as you can see I highlighted, it was not complying with local tax laws. But anyway, there's a lot to read here. I will link it below. But the general good news that I'm trying to share with you is that if this happens and they re-enter India, India's enormous. It's like up there with China. It's huge. It would just mean so many more people entering into crypto, you know, being able to enter the market. This is more money coming into Bitcoin and crypto, which is going to have an effect on all of our holdings, which would be amazing. So once again, it's a time. Don't do it with any sense of panic. Do it with a clear and level head, but it's a time to continue to reevaluate your wallet, your portfolio, what you're holding. Very good time, because we have a whole new country that's potentially entering back into crypto. All right. We have like a few more pieces of bullish news, and then we're going to wrap it up. And I have a lot more to share with you, but it just doesn't fit in today's video, and it's already like going on 1 a.m. for me. But I love you very much, so here I am. Some more amazing news is that TON network, which is like Telegram's network. Telegram is like a chat app I think most of you use, but if you don't, I'd recommend you go check it out because it's pretty cool. And now this chat app is integrating with USDT. So you will have your wallet and you will be able to just send money like through your app, crypto, USDT, which would be amazing. So you could just kind of foresee the creation of other applications and services built into Telegram, right? Because if now they have money available to be used on the network and sent back and forth, like why wouldn't they provide, like why wouldn't it become a super app then? You know what I mean? Like think about it. And we know Twitter X is looking to do the same. Anyway, awesome news. It just means more mass adoption, right? And that's the reason they're doing it. If you read this article, as I will let you know, I'll link below, is because they're trying to, they want to help like new people come into crypto. And so this will help new people easily, you know, integrate into crypto. It's as if like PayPal were to integrate with like WhatsApp or something, you know, like a no-brainer. Or like what's the app? Cash App. I'm not in the States anymore, so I don't use these apps, but I used to. Some more amazing news, because I've covered them before, but also just because it's been in the news, is that USDC, which is like the other main stable coin like USDT, is now natively minted or available on Base protocol. This is Base protocol. And remember, always there's Base, like the protocol, like the network, and then there's BasedAI. BasedAI is different. BasedAI. BasedAI is a like amazing AI. I've spoken about them before, but they're connected to PepeCoin. I believe, yeah, PepeCoin. I need to do an update for you guys on PepeCoin. So I will put that on my list to go do just an update for you so you know what's going on. But I'm about to cover some news for you now. But before I do, is Degen chain, which I covered in like a few videos ago. Go check out, which one was it? Depe, my Depe video. It's like a few videos ago. Go check it out. It was like the first meme coin, Degen, Pepe, on Degen chain layer 3. And Degen, along with Base, check it out, are now the top, like the top chains in Ethereum's ecosystem. Like above Arbitrum, ZK Sync, Immutable. And keep in mind always, it's a good reminder to remember that new tokens, or small caps as you call it, small market caps, because they're new, so they don't have as much value in the market yet. They tend to do like more multiples. They tend to go up in value more than tokens that have been in the market for a while. So like Immutable X, Arbitrum, Optimism, like they've been around longer. They have larger market caps, and they're like blue chips. They're long-term investments, but you wouldn't see them for like quick returns. You wouldn't think of them that way. Like they may pump like crazy. Everything's gonna pump, okay, this bull run. I think we're in like phase 2 now, like post-halving. But phase 3 is where things go like parabolic, go crazy. So everything's going to pump here. But this is just such a good reminder that the newest protocols or tokens tend to do the best in the short term. Then it comes down to the team. Are they going to deliver in the long run? So for now, Degen chain and Base are like the top 2 in all of Ethereum's ecosystem. Amazing. And then this is the news I wanted to share with you on PepeCoin, which is connected to BasedAI. Where are you? I showed it to you a minute ago. Let's go back. They're connected, okay? You can earn or farm BasedAI tokens by staking your PepeCoin. Is this the right PepeCoin? No. PepeCoin. This one's the right. Sorry, guys. This is the right PepeCoin. Forget what I said earlier. This is the right PepeCoin. And because it's PepeCoin. Like that's the ticker. When you go to CoinGecko. It's confusing for now. Honestly, I'm sorry I even did that. Like, see, that's what happens. You can never be too fly. PepeCoin. This is the real PepeCoin. You see how right here it says PepeCoin. This is the real one. And it looks like this. It has the little border around it. All right. And there's also PepeCoin on Solana, which is a wrapped PepeCoin. Technically, you will be able to like unwrap it. Maybe this is a separate video. But you can buy it on Sol, that's all you need to know. And then soon, if not already, you will be able to bring it over. Have it on Ethereum. And my last video shows you how to do this actually. I did not do it live, but my last video is on bridges, and I show you how you can bring your tokens from Solana over to Ethereum and vice versa. Check out Synapse, okay? Anyway, guys, that's really bullish news on PepeCoin, is that they are going to be creating a cutting-edge trading terminal by PepeCoin. It's supposed to be released like very soon, like in a week. It'll include portfolio management, MEV blocking, protection, limit orders, sophisticated charts, trader chart, all these great trading tools. So very bullish. That's what you need. Like that's how you know a new token is going to take off in the long run, is if like shortly after they launch, they're already like they're doing other great things, and if they deliver, like they have to deliver, All right, guys, I showed you already Altcoin Daily. That's it. This is Arthur Hayes's Medium blog, as I said. But that's it for today's video. I had a lot more I wanted to cover, but mainly I wanted to come to you and just let you know that everything's fine. Markets are fine. This dip is normal. We're technically in phase 2. Bitcoin should do a 3x this bull run. I will find this chart for you. It should do a 3x. So we are looking at like 100,000 to like a $200,000+ Bitcoin at the end of this bull run. But remember, it's a long-term investment, a long-term game. It's important to think of it that way so you don't get disappointed, because it comes down to expectations. But that said, I love you guys very much, and I will see you guys here tomorrow. Ciao.